Son.
Hi, I'm Susan Schrum, one of the hospice supervisors out of the San Bernardino office. And today we're going to do an infection control module on hand washing. So I'm going to open up to the first page. I've highlighted the areas that are going to be most important for you to know. You can read the rest of it later. Also what's going to be on the test. So we'll go ahead. I'll read a little bit and then I may ask you guys to read some stuff, but I'll read most of it, okay? Okay. So the very first page, in the know, where you have the lady with the teal scrubs on. Germs need people. Benjamin Franklin said, in this world, nothing can be certain except death and taxes. But Ben was wrong. There is something else you can be certain of. Germs. Germs are everywhere. No matter how much we spray, wipe, dip, scrub, sanitize, and sterilize, we'll never be complete free of germs. The good news is that germs only have the power to make people sick if we let them. The fact that most germs need people to go from place to place. If you take the time to wash your hands at the right times throughout your day, you will deny any of those germs the vehicle, which are your hands, that they need to spread germs from person to person. Hand washing is the single most important thing you could do to stop the spread of germs. Okay, go to the next page, and we're going to read the facts on the right-hand side. It's where it shows the gentleman washing his hands, the doctor or somebody. Okay, the facts. 80% of all infectious diseases are spread by touch. It is estimated that the hands of medical workers carry as many as 500,000 bacteria per square centimeter. And you can see a picture, this purple square, that's 1 square centimeter. Imagine 500,000 germs, bacteria germs, in that 1 square. That's crazy, huh? The CDC recommends healthcare workers wash their hands for at least 15 seconds. However, studies show that washing with soap for 30 seconds gets rid of 10 times more bacteria than soaping up for just 15 seconds. Unfortunately, the average wash time for healthcare workers is a mere 9 seconds. You wash your hands, you think you're washing for a while, but it's really only 9 seconds average. What I do is when I'm washing my hands, and especially when a surveyor or somebody's with you, I sing happy birthday, but I sing it twice. So when you sing happy birthday, slowly, it's 15 seconds. So sing it twice. So don't sing it out loud. But that will kind of give you an average of knowing how much time has passed. Okay, go to the next page. We're going to go to all germs are bad. There are 2 types of microorganisms that can be found on your hands. Resident flora and transient flora. Resident flora is bacteria that normally live on everyone's skin, and they are called resident flora. These microscopic creatures are found on healthy people and are generally not harmful. In fact, they can even be helpful. The residents are attached to the deeper layer of the skin and are harder to wash away with soap and water. Transient flora, germs are just visiting or hitchhiking a ride. These freeloaders attach to your hands when they are touched. When they touch a colonized person or object in the environment. The transient sit on the outer layer of the skin and are removed easily by routine hand washing. The transient are germs that most frequently cause illness or infection. Let's read the top part of that, which is which germs are on your hands. There are many different types of diseases caused by germs that can be passed from person to person by your hands. You'd be really surprised on some of these. The common cold, herpes, mono, pink eye, RSV, MRSA, strep, scarlet fever, yeast infections, scabies, lice, infectious diarrhea, ringworm, the Norwalk virus, hand, foot, and mouth disease, viral meningitis, salmonella, thrush, and warts, all by touch. And then right underneath that, you'll see the list of the diseases that you can have vaccinations for, and those are preventable, which are chicken pox, diphtheria, the rotavirus, Hep A, measles, mumps, polio, and rubella. Okay, if you go to the next page, like the person washing their hands. Let's read the what about waterless hand cleaners? Waterless hand sanitizers can eliminate many of the problems that healthcare workers face when taking care of patients. Alcohol-based hand rubs are faster because you can rub your hands while you are moving between patients. Hand rubs are gentler and do not cause irritation, drying, cracking you find with hand soap. To use, place a small amount on your palm of your hands, rub them together, being sure that you cover all the surfaces, and rub until they're dry. A lot of people use them and their hands will still be wet and you'll go like this until they dry. Keep rubbing until your hands are completely dry. You'll get the best effect of the hand sanitizers until you rub until your hands are no longer wet. Only use waterless hand rubs when hands are not visibly soiled. If hands are visibly soiled, always wash with soap and water. And a good thing to remember is gel in, wash out. Clean your hands both before and after client care by using gel, and then you wash your hands when you're leaving. So use waterless hand sanitizer when you arrive, your hands are already clean, and then wash them before you leave. That's their suggestion. On the right hand side it says, think about it. When should you wash your hands? Here are a few times when it is absolutely necessary to wash your hands. Before and after client contact, before and after use of the bathroom or eating, after touching contaminated items such as urine measuring devices, before putting on and taking off gloves, and after taking off gloves. Anytime a client asks, you should wash your hands. Whether you're preparing for a client, after sneezing or coughing, even if you used a tissue. Okay? Let's go to the page 6, keeping hands germ-free. Check this out. This is kind of interesting. According to the Chicago Tribune, the yearly deaths due to germs from unclean hands in hospitals are higher than deaths due to fire, drowning, and car accidents combined. That's a crazy number, especially because that's all preventable stuff by healthcare workers. Most of the germs in your hands are hiding under and around your fingernails. Be sure to scrub your nails when you wash your hands. Keep nails short and natural. Long, artificial, and natural nails have been blamed for numerous outbreaks of infectious diseases around the country. Artificial nails are difficult to clean with proper hand washing. It is best to avoid them if you are providing patient care. Freshly applied nail polish has not been shown to increase germs on fingernails. However, chipped and flaking nail polish can harbor dangerous germs. Jewelry on your fingers and wrists can serve as a nest for germs. Think about leaving your rings at home and sliding your watch above your wrist when you wash your hands. All right, let's go to page 7. A word about dermatitis. Dermatitis is an inflammation of the skin that can be a very frustrating condition for healthcare workers. It is a chronic disease that is not contagious. It cannot be passed from one person to another. The cause of dermatitis is not known, but the disease seems to result from a combination of genetic and environmental factors. Eczema, one type of dermatitis, occurs when it is irritating materials comes in contact with the skin. For hospital workers, this material is often the latex in the gloves. Excessive hand washing and chemicals can also irritate the skin and cause dermatitis to worsen. According to the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Skin Injuries and Illnesses, including dermatologists, make up a huge amount of all occupational injuries and illnesses. The symptoms of dermatitis include persistently itchy, red, swollen skin, tender, hot, or painful skin, dry, scaly, sensitive skin, and blistering or crusty skin. Those are the symptoms of dermatitis. Let's go to the next page, and we'll actually it's page 8. We'll skip down halfway down the page. And it's the Centers for Medicare Medicaid Services no longer make payments for the treatment of 8 hospital-acquired conditions, including some types of healthcare-associated infections. So if somebody becomes sick in the hospital, maybe MRSA that they didn't go in with, but they're going to come out with, the insurance won't pay for it. The hospital picks up the cost of taking care of that patient.
With San Antone Hospital too. They do that in San Antone.
Yeah. Okay, so on the right-hand side, this is kind of funny. It says, scientists say that 90% of all the $1 bills carry germs. That's not true. It says even a germ can't live on a buck these days. Okay. What do you get if you cross a comedian with germs? Sick jokes. Okay. Okay, let's go to page 9. And we're going to read through all of these. What's stopping you? Statistics show that fewer than half of all healthcare workers wash their hands as often as they should. There are many reasons healthcare workers give for not washing their hands before and after their patient care. Here are a few. Skin irritations. The hand cleansers are harsh and damaging to their skin. Now this is the excuses they give for not washing their hands. Supplies are not available, sinks are not conveniently located, or are not stocked with soap and towel. Urgent or emergency care, the clients need immediate care. There is no time to wash their hands. Wearing of gloves. The belief is that if gloves were worn, hands do not have to be washed after client care. And we know that gloves can have those microscopic holes where germs can get through and ooey gooey stuff that we don't want to touch. So. Not enough time, high workload, and understaffing. Hand hygiene interferes with healthcare worker relationships with patients. There are those who mistakenly believe that their client will feel insulted if the healthcare worker goes right to the sink to wash their hands after touching the client. Low risk of acquiring infection from certain patients. A false sense of security may lead to some healthcare workers to believe that if a client doesn't seem sick, there is no need to wash hands after care. Lack of knowledge of guidelines or protocols. When the guidelines are unclear, absent, or misunderstood, people are left to make assumptions, and you know what happens when you assume. Not thinking about it and forgetfulness. You have so much to think about during your day that it's easy to let this slip in your mind. I wouldn't want to let it slip out. Skepticism regarding the value of hand hygiene. The problem with germs is that you can't see them in your hands, and when you see a problem, it's hard to believe that when you can't see a problem, it's hard to believe that you need to do something about it. And that's why we're going to put germs on our hands later and wash them off so you can see what germs look like on your hands. They're not real germs. And the lack of proof of positive impact on hands hygiene or healthcare associated infections. Some people just need to see the proof. And if you need proof, you can go to the website on the bottom. So you can look at germs and why you need to wash your hands. Okay, let's just do the final hand washing do's and don'ts. Let's go around and everybody take a turn doing a do. You want to start?
Here.
It's on the top of page 10.
Yes, here.
Okay.
So, make sure, that one?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay, make sure to wash the entire surface area of your hands and wrists. Many people forget to wash the top of their hands. This skin is more sensitive than the palms of your hands. So be sure to get it clean without rubbing too hard.
Remove all jewelry and or watches before washing your hands. If you don't, microorganisms can hide under your jewelry and then be free to contaminate your clients.
Make sure to clean underneath your fingernails and to remove all debris. This area of the fingers is one of the areas most responsible for spreading infections.
Wipe down any soiled counters or stove top if you cook for your client. Disease can be tried or uncooked food and can transfer from food to counters, then to your hands. Make sure to use a strong disinfectant spray and not just a wet paper towels.
Encourage your clients to wash their hands on a regular basis if they are able. If your client keeps up with their own hygiene, it is less likely that they will become sick.
Try to tidy up a client's area. Keeping surfaces as clean as possible can help get rid of those tiny bacteria all over their towels and or personal space.
I'll do the next one. Don't wear the same pair of gloves when treating a different client. Even if they are washed or rinsed, gloves can easily carry illnesses from client to client.
Next. Skip drying your hands after you wash them. Most of the bacteria is removed by the heat of the dryer, or they are simply wiped off with a dry towel. If you only shake your hands in the air, it's likely that there are still lots of tiny microorganisms all over your hands.
Don't use a community towel in the restroom. Who knows what type of germs call the towel home? Call that towel home.
Directly touch the sink at any time while washing your hands. Use a dry towel to turn the faucet on and off.
Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth after washing your hands.
Use a damp cloth to take excess water off your hands. Bacteria thrives in warm, damp places such as a washcloth.
Touch or examine a client without washing your hands first. Hands should be washed immediately before you come into contact with the client and again immediately after.
Okay. Let me pass out the test. We'll take the test together. All right, so we're gonna go around the table and we'll start with Gloria, and then, yeah, we'll start with number 1.
Most germs are spread by sneezing, coughing, touching, exposed infection fluids. Doesn't have all of the above, huh?
No, but
Touching.
It would be touching.
C, touching. In fact, 80% of all infectious diseases are spread by touch. Okay, number 2.
A proper routine hand washing easily removes a transient flora, beneficial flora, primary flora, resident flora. Proper routine hand washing easily removes. Oh, properly hand washing. I would say resident flora.
Actually, it's transient flora.
transient.
Oh.
If we remember transient hitchhikers,
Oh.
and so it's the ones that are easily removed or the transient. So it says transient flora, germs are just visiting or hitchhiking. They are easily removed with soap and water, but are most likely to cause illness or infection if spread. Okay.
When using waterless hand cleanser, you should dry hands with a clean paper towel. B, rinse hands with water after using gel. C, apply every 15 minutes before best results. And rub hands until they are completely dry. D.
Right, D. Rub hands until they are completely dry. You should squirt a small amount of the gel or foam into the palm of your hand. Then rub all surfaces, including the fingernails and the wrists. Then rub until hands are dry. Okay. Let's look at number 4.
When using gloves, you should not B. Reuse on several clients.
Correct, B.
Yep, letter B.
Reuse on several clients. You should never use a pair of gloves on more than one client, even if you've washed your hands with the gloves on.
True or false? The most common way germs are spread in healthcare setting is by the hands of the health workers. True.
True. The most common way germs are spread in healthcare settings is by the hands of healthcare workers. That's why hand washing is the single most important thing you can do to stop the spread of germs.
Number 6, dermatitis is contagious and can be passed from person to person by touch and false.
False. Dermatitis is a chronic disease, but it is not contagious. It cannot be passed from one person to another.
True or false? Medicare covers the additional cost to care for people who get healthcare associated infection.
False.
False. Medicare no longer covers the additional cost for care for people who get healthcare associated infections. Okay, Gloria?
Okay. Some healthcare workers will ignore proper hand washing guidelines if they think a client doesn't seem sick. True?
Oh, some have
That's probably true.
That's what we read.
That they're okay. and
Right,
stuff.
exactly. It is true. Some healthcare workers will ignore proper hand washing guidelines if they develop a false sense of security when caring for a client who doesn't seem sick.
The way to dry your hands after washing with soap and water is with a dry disposable paper towel. Yes.
True. The way to dry your hands after washing with soap and water is a dry disposable paper towel. Wet towels and community towels, maybe something you have in your bathroom,
Right.
are a great place for germs to live and thrive.
Mm.
If you use these after washing your hands, you are putting germs all over your
Wow.
hands. So if you're in a patient's home and you don't have a paper towel and you're using their towels, who knows
No,
what
we don't
they've
use
dried
that
with that towel.
Right.
And it can definitely come right back to you if you
Right.
just clean your hands.
Mhm.
Okay.
So number 10, true or false? Most germs on your hands are resting on the wrists and palms. True.
Actually, that's false.
Really?
It's
Most germs,
Wouldn't you think that?
you would think, but it's
It's in the
actually
pink-
your nails,
It's in
your
your
fingernails.
Fingernail?
Yeah,
Under and around your fingernails.
right
So
here.
think about that the next time you want to bite your nails.
Yes.
All right, does anybody have any questions?
You know, but in Pomona Valley, they had a lot of little babies were dying and stuff, and they didn't know what was going on. And they found out it was because of the nails. That they had those artificial nails, the nurses.
Oh my God. That what you were talking
Yeah,
about?
And that's what
It's
it was.
amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give you guys some germs to put on your hands.